Shane Van Gisbergen still looking for that first oval top 10 in the NASCAR Cup Series, or at least in a points-paying race. We're going to reference a non-points race here in a minute. At New Hampshire, home of the lobster. No, I'm serious. The winner of the race gets a lobster as a trophy. I'm not making that up. So I wore a crab hat. I know crabs and lobsters are different, but I think they're both crustaceans, so they got that going for them. But this is not a science lesson. We're here to talk about race cars. Cars turning left. New Hampshire Motor Speedway. This is the first race in the round of 12. Of course, Shane Van Gisbergen eliminated from the playoffs last week at Bristol, but he still gets to race. He is still racing for wins and also for his case, improving on the ovals and for points. You know, he can finish as high as 5th in the standings. So what do we need to know about New Hampshire Motor Speedway? It is a flat oval with heavy braking, which has suited SVG style, of course, like the road courses. But no, statistically, Shane Van Gisbergen has done well on the short tracks, with the exception of Bristol. Bristol being high banked, high speed. It's a little bit of a different animal, but you look at Richmond, tied his best oval result of the season with a 14th. You look at Martinsville last fall, finished 12th. You look at Bowman Gray, the Clash, the non-points race, finished in the top 10. You look at the All-Star Open, once again, a non-points race. And yes, it was the qualifying race to make the main event, but he was on pole for that race, led 53, 52 laps in that race. So these short, flat ovals have suited him a little bit better than some of these other ovals. But if you want the actual technical little numbers on this track, it's 1.06 miles, which is equivalent to 1.7 kilometers, 2 to 7 degrees of banking in the turns, 1 degree of banking in the straights. Now this weekend started off with a bang for the number 88 team. Shane Van Gisbergen put down his quickest qualifying or best qualifying effort on an oval in the Cup Series, qualified 10th for this race. First time he has started in the top 10 in his career on an oval based on qualifying speed. And he fired off immediately. He fell to 11th in turn 2. Never fell out of the top 10 on track again. Drove up into the top 5. Like, it was like, what? Like, as I referenced earlier, he did good at the Clash, yeah, and, you know, he's had one good result at Martinsville, but the Martinsville spring race was not pretty. And yes, he did good at Richmond about a month ago, but those are like top 15s. Like, those are still solid days for Shane Van Gisbergen, who's still figuring out the ovals and everything. But for him to qualify in the top 10, drive up to the top 5, it's like, what? And then on the flip side, in terms of the playoff side, it's like, man, if you're a Shane Van Gisbergen fan, you're probably wondering, this couldn't have happened like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago when he was in championship contention, but still, he needs the progress on the ovals. But no, I'm not kidding. He literally drove up into the top 5 based, like, no alternate strategies. No, this isn't a super speedway where anyone can kind of shuffle up to the front. He literally drove up there on raw speed, raw pace, got up into the top 5, was running 5th with 5 laps to go in stage 1, and a caution flew. Caution comes out. Everyone comes down pit road. They come back out. They restart. It's a 1-lap shootout for the stage while SVG finishes 7th. That means for the first time in his Cup Series career, SVG scored stage points on a non-super speedway oval. Of course, those super speedways, as I said, they're a little bit more random. Anyone can get to the front. There's a lot of randomness to those races. So a lot of people score stage points. In SVG, he scored stage points, I think, at Daytona and Atlanta. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, you know, for him to score stage points at a non-super speedway oval on straight-up speed, that is a huge step, if you ask me. But as I said, Shane Van Gisbergen, he drove up as far as 5th, finished 7th in stage 1. If you hear background noise, there's thunderstorms like everywhere around me. I can't control that, guys. Anywho, start off stage 2. He's still running in the top 10s, just kind of running 7th and stuff. Caution comes out. Can't remember the lap number off the top of my head. I don't have it written down either. Seems like poor planning on my part. Anywho, there's another caution, and Shane Van Gisbergen and Josh Berry are battling for a position. I think they were battling for 6th or 5th at this point. And SVG, I'm just gonna call it how I saw it, and SVG did admit to it. He kind of spun out Josh Berry. Now, SVG, when he did come on the radio, he said, yeah, I didn't mean to spin him out, but he kind of pinched me there, when you pinch him down the racetrack. And so SVG did not intentionally spin out Josh Berry, but he dumped Josh Berry there. So, yeah, that happened. After that, there's another restart. Shane Van Gisbergen still looking for that first oval top 10, having a great day at New Hampshire, running up in the top 10 on pace. At one point, I looked at his average running position. I wish I screenshot it, but he had an average running position of like 6.19. I was like, wow, did not see that coming entering today. So it was an extremely promising day. Everything is going right. And then there's another caution. I can't remember if this was the Cody Ware caution or if this was a something else. A caution happens. Then there's another restart. And this is what kills the day for Shane Van Gisbergen. Once again, they go down pit road. They go to pit to get tires. I think they were slow on the left side of the car. They lose some positions there. Also, a couple of cars stayed out on the racetrack. So for the first time in this race, SVG is starting outside of the top 10. He restarts 14th. Well, as you guys know, those of you who have watched NASCAR for a long time, or those of you who have been watching Shane Van Gisbergen because he's been in the thick of the mid-pack, and that's where all the craziness and the wrecks happen, well, that's what happens here. He gets back into the hornet's nest, and, Brad Keselowski tried to make it 5 wide at New Hampshire and forgot that there was an inside wall at turn 2. Brad Keselowski sends it 5 wide, clips the inside wall in turn 2, and as a result, he clips Shane Van Gisbergen, triggers a multi-car pileup. SVG spins back around and gets slammed by someone else who had no idea he was coming back up the track. That was it. Now, ultimately, SVG ended up coming back into the race. I think they ended up 50 laps down. Let's see here. Yeah, they finished 51 laps down, 32nd place. Now it's time for another sports lesson. The Boston Red Sox. Ooh, man. You either love them or you hate them. It's kind of, here in the United States, I feel like when it comes to New York, Dallas, L.A., okay, so Boston, New York, LA, Dallas, and Philadelphia, those 5, I feel like you just either love them or you hate them because the fan bases. I'm from Dallas. And let me tell you, our fans are psychotic. It's bad. We got some bad fans. Well, Boston's got some fans up there too. I'll be nice to them. I'm going to say the word passionate. So basically, long story short, if you don't like the Red Sox, you just really hate them. And that's really the same for all Boston sports teams, the Celtics, the Patriots, the Red Sox. Why am I bringing this up, you may ask? The Boston Red Sox were sponsoring Brad Keselowski's car. In conclusion, Australia and New Zealand, you are now big New York Yankees fans because the Boston Red Sox just wrecked your favorite driver. So now I think you just got to be Yankees fans. You got to hate the Red Sox now. You got to hate the Boston sports teams now. I think that's just how it has to go. Obviously, I'm joking here. Please do not actually, don't go too crazy at the Boston fans. And Boston fans, if you're mad at me, please don't go crazy on me. I'm sorry. As I said, my own fans, my Dallas area fans, rabid, crazy. They're psychotic. So long story short, Shane Van Gisbergen had a great opportunity at his first career oval top 10 in the Cup Series. Scored stage points, very promising. Drove up into the top 5 at a non-superspeedway. He was right there. He had a great shot of not only getting his first top 10 on an oval, but top 5. I know it was early in the race and things can change, but did he not drive up there? It was very, very impressive, I would say, for his first Cup start in New Hampshire, but unfortunately, the Boston Red Sox had other ideas. So, but no, for real though, SVG had a great day up until that point. Next week, he will go to Kansas, where he scored a top 20 back in the spring. So he's going to try to get his first oval top 10 there. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. But as I said, Kansas next week, New Hampshire this week, didn't go his way in terms of the final result, but a big step forward. Non-superspeedway stage points, drove up into the top 5. A lot of speed in the car. SVG, after the race and his little cool down lap, kind of quick radio comm, he did say that it was a great car or that they did a great job. So yeah, that's that. So thanks for watching this video.